In the turbulent decades of the 1970s and 80s, America saw the rise of militant underground movements fighting for radical changes. And among the most wanted figures of that era was Mutulu Shakur, known for being a healer, and revolutionary, and a fugitive. He was also one of the alleged masterminds behind a deadly armored truck robbery carried out by a group known as the Family. Mutulu Shakur was born Gerald Wayne Williams on August 8, 1950, in Baltimore, Maryland. He was raised in Jamaica, Queens. His coming of age was during the Civil Rights Movement, when he was drawn to the growing wave of black nationalist and anti-imperialist thought spreading across the country. And by the late 1960s, Mutulu joined the Republic of New Africa, a group calling for an independent black nation in the South. He worked with the Black Panther Party and co-founded the Lincoln Detox Acupuncture Program in the Bronx, using traditional Chinese medicine to treat heroin addiction while organizing political education. The clinic became a community hub and a target for law enforcement surveillance. The Black Liberation Army was a clandestine, armed offshoot of the Black Panther Party. Operating underground in the 1970s, the Black Liberation Army saw itself as a revolutionary force fighting against systemic racism and police violence, often through armed struggle, including attacks on police and expropriation of funds through robberies. Meanwhile, the Weather Underground organization emerged from white, radical, and anti-war student groups. They targeted symbols of U.S. imperialism, bombing government buildings, banks, and corporate offices. By the early 80s, some members had gone underground, still committed to revolutionary action. In the late 1970s, remnants of the Black Liberation Army and the Weather Underground joined forces in what law enforcement would later call the Family. This coalition combined black revolutionaries and white anti-imperialists, working together to carry out armed robberies to fund their political causes. Their most notorious mission would come in 1981 when the Family robbed an armored Brinks truck. But before the Brinks robbery, Mutulu Shakur was already a top target for the FBI. According to reports, on November 2, 1979, members of the Black Liberation Army, allegedly with Mutulu's help, executed the daring escape of Assata Shakur from a women's prison in New Jersey. The group, armed with smuggled weapons, took hostages, freed Assata, and fled in getaway cars. She eventually escaped to Cuba, where she remains under political asylum. Then 2 years later, on October 20, 1981, the Family struck in Nanuet, New York. When members of the Black Liberation Army and the Weather Underground ambushed a Brinks armored truck outside a shopping mall, stealing $1.6 million in cash. And according to reports, the operation turned violent when a Brinks guard named Peter Page was killed at the scene, and during a later police roadblock, 2 NYAC officers, Edward O'Grady and Waverly Brown, were gunned down. Authorities alleged that Mutulu Shakur helped plan and coordinate the robbery, but by the time the manhunt began, he had already vanished. According to reports, for the next 5 years, Mutulu was one of America's most wanted fugitives, moving between safe houses and possibly even abroad. His skill at disappearing added to his legend in activist circles, and his notoriety with law enforcement. However, on February 12, 1986, the FBI captured Mutulu Shakur in Los Angeles. He was charged with racketeering conspiracy, armed robbery, and murder in connection with the Brinks case. In 1988, he was convicted and sentenced to 60 years in federal prison. During his time in prison, Shakur mentored younger inmates and wrote about political struggle. But in the mid-2010s, his health began to fail. He was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer. And after multiple parole denials, he was granted compassionate release in December 2022. But unfortunately, Mutulu Shakur died on July 7, 2023, at age 72. Just 7 months after his release. To some, he was a political prisoner and freedom fighter. But to others, he was a militant whose actions caused tragedy. His story is a window into the radical underground movements of the 20th century and the high stakes of the struggle between revolution and the state. Now, as always, we would like to know what you think about this video down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.